I, 25F, overheard my 27M boyfriend say that he chose the wrong girl. For context, me and my boyfriend have been together for in total 8 years. We met between mutual friends while I was still in school and he had just moved to my town to go to college. We were friends for 2 years before we started dating. The reason for this was because 1, I was too scared to make a move, and secondly, he was in love with one of our mutual friends. After she got a boyfriend, he moved on to liking me and we have been dating ever since. Last Saturday was his birthday and he told me he has never been thrown a surprise birthday party and would like to experience one. I worked all week before Saturday, his birthday, planning and inviting people, getting reservations, buying a cake, etc. I asked his best friend to hang out with him for most of the day so that I could set up and get everyone to get here and hide for the surprise. The birthday party was a success and he was smiling the whole time. He had snuck off with his best friend somewhere and I wanted to find him so that we could sing happy birthday and cut the cake. As I was walking down the hallway I heard him and his friend talking, so I kept walking towards their voices. I heard him tell his friend that he should have kept trying with our mutual friend. He told him that he should have been the man that was engaged to her and not her now fiancé. He said that he hated waking up to me and that he wished that our mutual friend was the one that threw him his first surprise party. He said that he felt disgusted every time he had to kiss me or hold me because he knew that our mutual friend should be in his arms instead. He said that he felt like he was stuck in our relationship and that he would end up having to marry me. He said that our mutual friend was better than me in looks from head to toe. He said that she was the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen. I went back to the party and told everyone that I couldn't find him and that we would have to wait for him to come back. When he came back, he gave me a hug and a kiss on the head and told me he loved me. I didn't want to ruin his party, so I went along with it. He doesn't know that I know he doesn't honestly love me. I've just been going along with everything. I honestly don't want to break up with him. I just want to know how I can make him fall in love with me. I don't know what I did to make him feel so unhappy, so I would like to know how do I make my boyfriend fall in love with me, or should I just give up on our relationship? He is the first boyfriend I've ever had and I'm scared to start dating again at my age.
That'll show him.
You can't make someone love you. That's something that just happens on its own. And that obviously will not happen because he already desires someone else.
I remember being 25 with my first serious boyfriend. He dumped me out of the blue and I cried for days thinking I'd never find anyone to love me again. A few weeks ago I got married to my soulmate. You will find the one even if it feels like the end of the world. You cannot force someone to love and or respect you, and he doesn't do either. Dump him and watch him stay hooked on someone who wouldn't on him if he was on fire while you find the love you are so deserving and worthy of. Being afraid is normal, but believe me that you will find someone and there is no age limit to falling in love. Purple Heart.
That guy doesn't love you and there is nothing you can do to make him. Unless you transform yourself into the other girl. You are young at 25, you'll meet someone quick enough. Take some time to process the feelings that are going to flood you when you realize it's over. That guy is he never had a chance with the other girl, because otherwise, as he says, she would throw him that party. But he does have a girl that cares about him deeply and he's trash talking her to his best friend. Leave him ASAP.
Oh man, sorry it had been so long. Honey, if he has said these things, you should not stay with him. A woman not loved is horrible. I'm sorry for your heart. But living in a lie is horrible. He never got over the other girl. If someone said they hated waking up to me, and came back in the room and said they loved me, what a liar. I could not live with that. Don't be afraid to leave, you will be fine. I don't know if you will if you married him.
Although he didn't tell you, never let a man tell you twice that he doesn't want you. If you try to force this relationship, he is going to start resenting you because he feels stuck with you. You seem like a wonderful person and you deserve much better than this guy. Cut your emotional losses and move on. It may hurt for a while, but you'll get through this.
I'm sorry, after 8 years of being together, he talks in the most disgusting way possible about you behind your back, and you still want to be in a relationship with him? He's trash and you are too, to yourself, if you stay with him.
There's truly no coming back from this. Fortunately, at 25 you're much too young to give up. Take some time to heal yourself, do therapy, find your strength. This man is not it. but you have plenty of time still.
I'm going to say this very bluntly. Please have some self-respect. This guy that supposedly loves you, doesn't want you, finds being with you disgusting, and you want to stay with this person, who feels stuck in a relationship with you. Get higher standards. Your boyfriend is a really bad person. Like, who the does this to someone?
Unfortunately, you need to be real about this. Here is a guy that has remained salty about a girl that rejected him 8 years ago. He happily got in another relationship and it has lasted 8 years, something that isn't a small feat. But seeing that, one that got away, engaged, has clearly set off a lot of resentment and self-esteem issues on you, that he has apparently chosen to project at you. After all, if we take what he says literally, he used you for 8 years, and that makes him genuinely vile. At best, he is just pathetic. And yeah, you can't unhear that. Whatever the truth of his feelings for you, it is clear that he is still hung up on her, and that will always be in the back of your mind. It just isn't worth it. Because contrary to your assessment, you are actually way too young to be putting up with this. Don't go signing up for a lifetime of insecurity with a guy pining like a loser for an idealized version of a high school crush. You're only 25, this is the perfect time to go and find yourself a healthy adult relationship with someone that isn't stuck in the past. I'm sorry you heard that. I know it will be hard not to internalize. But this isn't about you. This is about him not knowing how to deal with his feelings and it coming out in a toxic and putrid way.
Short answer, you can't. And it's nothing wrong with you. You sound like an amazing partner and deserve the same level of appreciation that you give. But he will never be able to do that. Because this girl is not even a real person anymore, it's a dream about perfect girl that he is in love with. You already spent 8 years competing with impossible mirage. Dream girl doesn't get headaches, become frustrated, or has a bad day. Please choose yourself. Give yourself chance to be loved and cared by someone else. And until you end this relationship, you will never be free to do that.
Start dating at your age? Dude, you're 25, you have your whole life in front of you. YTF would you waste it on a person who disrespects you to such a degree? Why do you want to make him fall in love with you when he said that he felt disgusted after having kissed you? No offense, and I'm saying this with all the love in my heart, but do you have any self-respect? Leave that man, very obviously.
I do not understand how you are okay being with a man who literally admitted he is not in love with you. While I understand that the concept of starting over is hard, you really need to have a backbone and leave this relationship. You will only end up feeling resentment as you go ahead with it. Not that you did something that he doesn't love you. You can't have him fall in love with you when he is so clearly in love with your mutual friend, not her fault. You have to open your eyes and see that he only settled for you because he could not get the girl he wanted. Is this really how you want to spend your life?
You think the other girl would make him happy? Because I don't.
I'd just drop it on him. Heard what you said. We're done. You need SRS therapy. If you can pretend to be real to me, then talk about me in the next or only 25. Don't be someone's consolation prize.
Oh girl, if I stayed with the dropkick I was with at 25, I'd be freaking miserable. 25 is not too late to start dating again. You deserve way more than this. Him out on it. Watch his face. Then leave. You cannot make someone love you, and someone who loves you will never say the things you heard.
At my age, bro, you're 25, not 85.
Not a chance. Dude has clearly romanticized her so hard he sees everything else in his life as gross because it isn't her. If he suddenly got her, he'd find himself completely disappointed because at this point even she can't live up to his busted expectations. A lot of people only just begin entering the dating scene at 25. Life doesn't end at 30 op.
Right? Up. You want to be the girl he pines for? Pack up your and leave a vacuum in his life. Then go find someone who appreciates you, and your surprise parties and efforts.
Please listen to this op. Why would you ever want to wake up next to a person whose first thought of you is revulsion? You are a good soul doing something so sweet for people you care about. Find the people who deserve it.
Also, let's note something about the best friend.
I seriously hope they told the guy that this is up and they should be honest with Op, not waste her time, and end the relationship. Best friends should keep each other straight, instead of letting this continue.
I was 28 years old with a 5-year-old. Found out that my husband actually preferred men, but it wasn't appropriate at that time or for his profession. And I found out the worst way possible. Let's just say that I came home unexpectedly. I seriously thought I was going to die. We had been together since I was 18. He was literally my best friend. I swore that I would never get married again. I met a guy about a year later. He was totally different than my ex or anyone else I had ever gone out with. We became friends. He was great. With my son, my ex had decided that he wasn't good for his image and had given up his rights. So, we did this for a couple of years. We had never even kissed. And then out of nowhere he tells me that he loves me and that he wants to marry me and adopt my son. That was the part that got me the most. I found out how different it can be when your soulmate really is your true best friend. February 1st we celebrated our 30-year anniversary. We have a couple of grandkids and my life is better than I ever could have imagined. When I was in counseling, she said something that has stuck with me forever, and I think that you op will understand what I'm saying. It's hard being lonely when you're in a relationship. Much better to be alone and at peace. Wishing you well in whatever happens. Just remember that you are worth something and you deserve to be loved, respected, and appreciated just for who you are. White Heart.
Absolutely this. Said it before and I'll say it again. If I had one wish, I'd like to give young women the wisdom of old women. Because I'm raging, who the does he think he is? And that poor girl is wondering how to make him fall in love with her. This great catch who is apparently capable of lying shamelessly for 8 years so that he has regular I suppose, and would leave her in a heartbeat for some other girl. Jesus, what you do is gather your stuff and leave. Immediately, or kick him out, whichever works. And find someone who loves you. Who thinks you are the center of the universe. Who gets up in the morning to see you smile. Jesus, that's basic minimum requirements. You tell him to get then block him everywhere and go have a lovely life. 25 is no age at all, it's ridiculously young. Aren't we teaching girls self-respect?